And so let's talk about Smart and Final. So I have a report to share with you on the multi-pronged approach that we've had to deal with this issue. Trust me that it is of no pleasure to me to hear the frustration coming from our residents on this issue. So it pains me as much as it pains everyone else on this call to hear this. Believe that. And so it is a main focus for us. We have teams that have been assembled to address this issue. And so what I'll characterize is we're working on 5 multiple fronts, okay? The first front that we're working on and that we started in December, very soon after the initial complaint that we heard on December 1st, that I heard consistently, right? Starting December 1st, within a week, we had gone out there and took different readings, and we've done that over a period of time. And so we have conducted at this point at least 3 and potentially more readings ourselves to determine the noise levels and to determine if there's a violation of the ordinance. We did that on December 8th, we did it on December 9th, we did it on December 10th, multiple different times of day, 4 a.m., 9 a.m., 6 p.m. And we did not observe anything that rose to the level of the 55 decibels in our noise ordinance for a sustained period of 30 minutes or more. Now, that's not to mean it's not happening. All that means is that it didn't happen when we were there. And so we will be working with a contractor to bring a noise contractor in that has the specific certified equipment and the instrumentation to be able to take readings over a longer period of time, multiple times, um, randomly, to be able to determine what the noise levels are so that we have incontrovertible proof, if you will, to present to Smart and Final that we feel comfortable with, that's objective and independent. So our residents feel comfortable that we have somebody that's independent, third party, and can justify that as well. We've also had our police officers at times observe as well and also did not find a violation. Again, that doesn't mean that violations aren't happening, just means that at the staff level, we have not yet observed it, but we will be bringing someone on board for a very low price that can actually do this for a longer period of time and give us a good period of data collection that we can move from. So that's one effort. The second one is one regarding outreach to the community. So we hear your concerns. We're concerned about your concerns, and we want to be responsive. And so our code enforcement staff and our teams have gone out, and they have actually made contact with 20 separate residents in the neighborhood, many of those that abut to Smart and Final, to have conversations with them and engage with them face to face, in person, live body, not the phone or not an email, but to say, how are you doing? What are the issues that are concerning you? Do you feel that there's a neighborhood noise problem, and from where? And of those 20 visits, there were 11 actual contacts that happened in terms of folks that talked to us and opened the door and engaged. And 2 of those 11 did express concern for Smart and Final. The other 9 expressed concerns with other issues that we were happy to hear about because we need to address those as well, but not Smart and Final. And so those were the numbers from that face-to-face, in-person visit to 20 different residences, that initial conversation. And so that we have that information that at least two other residents do believe that for Smart and Final, that's an issue, but the 9 others did not. We're working on the other issues that they raised. So there's the community outreach, and we'll continue that. In addition to that, we have the conversations that we've been having with the regional manager, who will be at our next meeting to make a presentation himself to you. That'll be Steve Polensky, who's the general manager. From Smart and Final, he will come to the council and share some information on the steps that they've taken. But that third step of accountability with our business community is very important. And so doing business in our city is a privilege, right? And so we take very seriously the obligation of our businesses to be good neighbors. And so we're holding them accountable to that. We've had many meetings since December 1st, including attorneys on both sides, to make clear that they understand the relationship and how we define a good neighborhood policy and how their operations are going and changing, and identifying specific ways that they can actually reduce the noise. And so we've given them some very specific and concrete suggestions on efforts that they need to take to reduce the noise. Of course, we've communicated them some of the employee performance behaviors that we've witnessed, and they have actually conducted training for their employees to know about good neighbor policies and how to be a good, a business in a community close to a residential area and how to do that. And then we're also identifying those specific noise reduction suggestions, some which may require some modifications on their part and some may not. And then of course, our attorneys are also speaking. And so a lot of work is happening with this. We will hear more from Steve at the next meeting. He initially wanted to make it to this meeting and had a family emergency. And so he will be at the next meeting. And then we'll get the consultant, third party independent. That would make me feel very comfortable. And I'm sure for you, that gives a degree of comfort too. Independent, objective analysis, many with much more frequency, different times a day to be able to address that issue. And so that's the report that I have for you this evening. We're working on it on multiple fronts, and we'll continue to engage with the community. And as to some of the remarks that were made about our customer service and issues related to how we interact with different members of the community, please rest assured that inclusion, equity, diversity, treating everybody equally is something that I take very personally, and our entire team. And so I am not aware of any instances of that happening. And if we were to be aware of that, we would handle that immediately.